Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to poLANd 2024. My name is Wandom, now joined by Meerkat instead of not Steven. Thank God we got that guy out of there. Jesus Christ.
I think they've just wheeled him out back.
Yeah, my word. Yeah, thank God. We've got a real caster here.
Yeah,
We've got George versus Alien Workshop. We've got Bumfries on Medic versus Lucky on Medic.
Match. This is a grudge match for the ages.
Yes. This is a match for the ages. I'm really excited about this, actually. I think these teams can, in theory, be quite even. I think if you look at George, you might not really recognize them. They played the qualifiers. They actually did really well. They've got a lot of really solid, like, mid-tier Prem players. Yep. But most of them just haven't played in a while. Like star player, in theory, on this George team is Funds, who you will recognize from Low Panda fame back in the day. And, yeah, he's here. He hasn't played TF2 in, like, 5 years, but...
You can't lose it.
No.
But you can.
I watched him play
can.
earlier. Maybe you can.
No,
Maybe 5 years is too much.
There is a limit.
Yeah, unfortunately, but he's been good. What about Alien Workshop? How are you feeling about this?
I mean, we saw them play in the first round, and it looked like they were really sort of just finding their feet, and they seemed pretty confident. Like, I mean, when you've got players on a team like Sneaky, who goes at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He's the loudest player in the room. He's so excited. He wants to get absolutely, like, plow completely through the game. I think that he can really get behind the team and push him forward.
I think, yeah. I really like Alien Workshop. I watched them a lot at I-71, and they were super good there. That first game that we saw them play against 3.5 stars wasn't quite there to what we did see, honestly, at I-71. Well, as you're saying, really just kind of finding their feet. Kasuke, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously hitting some rockets, as we're used to seeing from him. But the rest of the squad needs a little bit of warm up. I really like Shades. I think Shades is really good.
Yeah, he's had a good day. He's had a very good day.
But apparently, have map veto, map bans. We are. I can spoil this for you. We're on product. The Koth map.
Yeah, that is exciting. It's not Snakewater. Obviously, we saw them play. Yeah. The very first round on this stream was Snakewater. They didn't have a great time, and I was talking before about the impact that Sneaky's going to have. He's going to run riot on this map, I think. I think he's going to have a really good game. Yeah,
I think so too. I think Sneaky really stands out on this Alien Workshop as a really big upgrade to what they had before. No disrespect,
of course,
but to Kindred nor any of the other scout players that have played for Alien Workshop in the past. But yeah, honestly, this Sneaky pickup is looking really solid. And he's really become sort of a focal point of this team, to where we saw at I-79 it was Tabby making a lot of these calls. Now you go in and you stand in there, as you're saying. Sneaky's very loud, and he's really good at keeping the team in.
Yeah, keeps everyone in check. Like, it's something that he does so consistently across every game and every team he's always been in. And in that pocket scout role, stomping forward, everyone behind him. They're pretty unstoppable. And what a map to do it on product.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this game. I think it actually should be super good. Because you're looking across on the other side, Tiram, Force, obviously not bad players either. Nope. They're both super good soldiers. I think as well, Vanu has obviously been a sort of mid-tier scout for a long time in Premiership. Obviously, they're very capable. Funds, we know. Like 5 years ago, Funds was really good.
Yeah,
and so hopefully, please, Funds be good. I was talking to Bumfries about this before the LAN. He was actually quite worried. He didn't know what Funds he was going to get. Because he's either going to be the best player on the team, or he's going to be a guy who hasn't played TF2 for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I watched Funds almost lose MGE to Bumfries on Soldier.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Hopefully he's good now. He's had 2 games to warm up. I feel like TF2 is kind of like riding a bike to a certain extent.
It is, definitely.
You play for a while and you sort of start getting back into things. I think it should be fine.
It should be okay. I mean, they had a couple hours this morning, get set up, get a bit of DM in, and then you've got all that downtime between games. If you think you're falling behind, I know it's a bit too late to do it when you show up on the day, but if you're just trying to let loose a little bit, get your rhythm back, then I think you're okay. I think you're okay.
Yeah, it should be okay. And, yeah, I see one of the teams ready up. We'll have to see if the other one ready's up as well. But, yeah, honestly, it's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to it. But, honestly, yeah, keep your eyes on these scouts. On Funds on one side, but also on Sneaky on the other. We're going to have to see which one steps up the most here. So we are going live. Once again, we're in poLANd. We're in 2024 as well. We're in round number 4 this time, and it's Alien Workshop up against George. We're on to middle. Yak and Tabby taking different paths, and Yak is eating a lot more hurt than Tabby is.
Yeah, absolutely. You see this at the start of every single mid-fight, every single game, every single team. They're just taking it nice and steady, seeing what the other team's doing, trying to compose themselves, and then they just want to roger forward.
That's just an early kill there on the Tabby from Yak. This is a really good start now for George as well, and his fun's going down immediately from Bomb out of shades. Yak, Banu falling as well, and it looks like even trading so far, but forced. Really nice rocket there in on to Lucky here. He's going to have to walk back, but he's not quite finding the rockets now. Forced. Guts taken down there by Wild Piggy. Alien Workshop managing to keep it out alive, but it's even Uber so far. Soldier takes a lot of damage though, and now George, I think they have to walk back here. They didn't get that point cap either. It's a scout barreling in though. They want to keep this going.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked like they didn't quite want to unify back up with Bum, but Uber Charge coming off. It's slowly draining down, and they don't seem to get an awful lot off the back of it. The midpoint's still very much up in the air. It looks to be Alien Workshop there capitalizing.
They lose their demo in Yak in that Uber trade, and unfortunately that means they just don't have the damage output to really contest that capture now. Point captured, time ticking down for Alien Workshop, and George is just setting up on Cliff here. I would not be surprised if they go in quite fast as well. Lucky does have a little bit of an advantage, not that big, building just slightly better than Bumfries, but now, look at the spam coming across out of Alien Workshop. So much damage. It's a Soldier bombing in, but makes nothing happen. Unfortunately, Tiram dropping down, has to sit on Rock, and now the spam comes in. This is such a tense position here on Product.
Yeah, it's so painful seeing George with all of these weak players. It means that they can't really achieve an awful lot. That spam from Alien Workshop is really grinding them down to the core. But playing it reasonably sensible. Alien Workshop backing up a little bit, send a soldier in, don't manage to get anything from it. The bomb comes into Bum, goes down to a pipe from Tabby.
Yeah, Tabby finding a pipe there onto Bum. This gives Lucky such a big advantage. Doesn't even have to pop the Uber at all in this fight. And now, I think... Is it time for the classic Product sack wave? I do believe it should be.
It should be. We're a minute into this round now. George have a minute of time to wake up. You see Tiram goes forward, but it looks like Alien being very reserved about it.
They are going forwards. It is Tiram hitting a nice little rocket there onto Kasuke, opening things up for the rest of his team. Uber still on Lucky's side, but they're finding so many picks here. George, Yakon with another one onto Sneaky the Cat. They take control of the point off of this. They are going to get spawners in quite quickly. They still have the Uber advantage. Bum only 50%. But Shades now sitting on Cliff. The rest of his team with him as well. Yak could do an awful lot of work to try and deny this team going forwards.
Absolutely. They need to really return the favour onto Alien Workshop. They got a minute of deficit time to make up here, so it's all about the next play. Lucky's on point with the Uber Charge, taking a fair old chunk of damage. You got the bombs going in, trying to make them a little bit unstuck.
This is so weird. Alien Workshop are not willing to commit this Uber charge at all. Instead, it's kind of bleeding out players and losing the trade to George, who now finally are building up the Uber advantage themselves. They've got the Uber now. Force goes down, though. There's one kill for the side of Alien Workshop. Down a soldier off their own. But now Tiram goes in, tries to get the Force onto Lucky, doesn't quite get it. Go down 2 soldiers, and that should be Shades right back with them. Instead, now Tabby can shoot some sickies across onto the point. Uber's coming in. We're trading on both sides, and there's a soldier dropping down so low there as Shades gets taken down. Banu finding more kills alongside the rest of his team. Is only fun taking down Sneaky. It's just walking forwards, and he's hitting so much damage. Soldier bombs in, doesn't find anything, and somehow, in the end, it looks like we're just going to get an Alien Workshop capping the point.
Yeah, unfortunately, as much work as Sneaky was doing, he was very much out there on his own, apart from the heals, so it makes his job slightly more tricky, but they get the point. That's what it's all about there, and it's down to George to return the favour.
George now sitting with a player advantage here, and it's Alien Workshop kind of posturing around, trying to send their soldiers forwards, but also just keeping them alive as well. You see them kind of bombing across the point onto enemy cliff, onto their cliff rather than the enemy side. Instead now, he's going to be tabbing, walking forwards with the heals, but he drops down to 80 HP, is not able to hit forwards anymore. George now 30 seconds behind on the cap time, but it's even Ubers here for both teams. Tabby dropping low.
Yeah, you see Yak coming in with a bomb, manages to get the medic down. Lucky does crumble in front of his colleagues there. You see Alien Workshop just trying to scramble, trying to keep alive. They want their spawners to come in. They know they're not going to get that point, but they are sticking it pretty hard to it.
This is Sneaky now walking in once again on a mission behind.
That is his namesake.
There's no way. Okay, where are we going, Sneaky?
This is interesting.
We're walking, we're running around, we're making it work, I assume, I don't know. Now his team is just kind of down a player while he runs around. They're looking for him. You can see Force is right around the corner with 2 quick rockets. Force Sneaky, that's him taken down. Soldier bombing in, trying to get in onto Bumfries, but doesn't find anything. Instead, now, Lucky will find himself missing a player, missing another one, because that's Kasuke, pistol down by Banu. Want to trade it across, but Shade's dead as well now with Buns. And George is sitting on the point, and they're ahead on the time.
Yeah, it's a little bit sticky here for Alien Workshop. They've got 2 people in the spawn queue, so they just want to build the supercharge up, take the trade, and try and get themselves over that point. They're making up a 40-second deficit now, and that is ticking down by the second. And it looks like they want to capitalize now. Moving on to that point, Vanu down on the side of George.
Vanu down on the side of George means that there's... I mean, they still kind of have position. Look at how aggressively they're playing this in main. It's Yak is going down, maybe a little bit too far forward. Buns does find the kill into Sneaky. But what about the rest of his life? He lived. No, he doesn't. The Sticky from Tabby from across the map finds him. Now, onto the point. So much damage dealt across on both sides. Health bars are nowhere for the side of George, however, but it's just 3 seconds left on the point. Bum is alive. He used an Uber charge, I assume. Didn't get anything, but they have a minute now to play with. Alien Workshop just capping this with an Uber advantage.
Yeah, they've built themselves an awful lot of time. You know, they've got maybe 20 seconds till the Uber charges up from the side of George, and you know they're just taking that high ground, getting buffed, ready to sort of nullify any attempts from George to get onto that point. It is an overtime, so just one cap wins in the game, and they're getting an awful lot here as Alien Workshop pop the Uber.
They're popping the Uber, but onto who? With Shades taken down. The wrong side is losing players, and now the bomb's coming forward onto Bumfries and onto Tiram, but nothing works. Instead, it's just Vanu. They're alone on the point. That's a capture and a round on the board for George. We're saying this. I'm going to be honest, expecting this to be pretty Alien Workshop-sided. That's a good round for George. They're looking good.
Yeah, definitely, and you see how much time they managed to gain right at the start of that map, and then they just sort of rode the coattails of that all the way through. So yeah, a really, really strong opener there from Georgia, and I must say I do echo exactly what you thought about the outcome of this match.
I was looking at this and thinking that Sneaky was about to feast on some washed-up old premies, but instead now they have the washed-up old premies up 1-0. Maybe there's something to be said for the experience. This time around, Tabby again is so aggressive onto this team, but not finding that much damage. Instead, now Shades up on top. Soldier spam coming across, and that's one bomb coming in behind. You can see the machinations of George setting up the aggression. Tiram destroys Wild Piggy with the rockets. Now the follow-up comes in. Lucky escaped with his life, but at what cost? Sniper does nothing to help him, and he's alone in spawn.
I mean, that was a very interesting mid. I mean, seeing Kazuki achieve absolutely nothing the entire time, sitting as Sniper, it was unnoticeable. I'm not sure his impact can be quite measured on that class.
There's some fire being exchanged in the chat as well. I think you might have been able to see. Now, I actually do think this is a little bit of an underrated way. I do know that Lucky can get into his head.
No.
If you start typing in the chat. Instead, now, once again, it is just the Uber coming straight out of George here. Onto Yak. Finds the counter Uber, but look at the health bars here on Alien Workshop.
Wow.
So very low. It's Yak going down, though, along with Kasuke. And so far, it seems like Alien Workshop are kind of cleaning house. No one else really there to follow up. Lucky's alive. 30 HP, but he's alive. And Buns kind of has to run Bumfries out here.
Absolutely. They really just want to keep that medic up. It is an equal Uber situation as it stands, but with Bumfries, nobody to heal. He is definitely stuck. He's going to have his head in his hands waiting for his spawners, and they can have another crack. But they've got 45 seconds on Alien Workshop at the minute, but you know they're facing a forward hold here, and losing Sneaky that early is not good news.
Yeah, losing Sneaky there breaks the forward hold immediately. They also have Kasuke on the Sniper. Soldier on the Sniper means there's so much less projectile spam damage coming out. Kasuke running up towards China now instead is going to be sitting in Japan, hoping to find something. Kind of staring at a wall right now. Hopefully he'll turn the corner and there'll just be a medic. Click on him.
Yeah, we talk about the importance of the soldier, and when that soldier that you're nullifying is Kasuke, and you're putting him onto anything else, it just doesn't really seem to compute in my head. But he's definitely denying a lot of sightlines, ready to jump on anyone who might try and stop his team from capping that point, which seems to go relatively uncontested unless Yak has something to say about it.
Yak walks into a scout wing shot, and then another one, and unfortunately he goes down. So Jubam is coming in, finds a lot of space here. Kasuke quite able to hit him. Unfortunately, there we go. Headshot counts.
There we go.
The Uber comes out of Bumfries. Actually, Lucky popped his way earlier here. The trade comes out, but look at the health and the players alive for the side. Kasuke, nice little follow-up headshot onto Bum. And there we go. The Kasuke sniper is online. Kasuke is a really good sniper. I think there's a lot of players on this Alien Workshop team that can snipe.
Definitely.
Piggy as well, really, really good. Sneaky also great on the sniper.
Good, yes.
But I think on this situation, we are on product. We really like scouts on product.
Yeah,
this Kasuke sniper might be it.
Yeah, so see now at Alien Workshop, just trying to make a little bit of something of nothing, and George sending in the double soldier bombs, and it seems to be pretty damaged. I clenched my bum cheeks there, and that was titillating that.
Unfortunately, Rocket kind of aimed the wrong way. Terem goes down now as well. It is decent damage here onto Funds as well. It looks like Kasuke, maybe he doesn't have to do all that much damage. The rest of his team's kind of following up on his own. Sneaky walking in, doing a lot of damage there to Yak and to Bumfreeze. Is Funds down spawning right now? Kasuke charging up a shot once again. Moving over to China. You're going to have to see if he can find another kill here. Could open up so much here for the Alien Workshop because the Uber just comes out. Bump doesn't have yet, and he gets taken down by Tavi and Sneaky. One or more kill onto Force, onto Tiram. That's no soldiers. And with the enemy having your high ground, what is Fun supposed to do?
Run for the hills is what I would say. He is the last player left, and he's drawn out his death as long as possible. I'm not sure he's going to get an awful lot off the back of it. Lucky is weak, but he does manage to return to his team in plenty of time.
Yeah, he's back with them. That once again kind of lands him an Ubercharge advantage. Kasuke sticking to this sniper back onto Clip, and it is applying a lot of pressure. Maybe not be doing the most amount of damage you've ever seen a sniper deal, but that is decent pipes just onto Bum, finding them. You lose Lucky and Tavi actually in the meantime, though. This is a trade for the ages. Everyone kind of losing, dying all over the place. But now Sneaky, the cat, 10 HP, almost with the 1v1 versus Vanu. Unfortunately, Vanu kind of gets the better of him there. Trading across, dude. This is the problem with the cast product. Like, it's sometimes... okay, sometimes the sniper kills both the scouts. There's nothing to do. What do you want me to say?
I don't really know, but he's denying an awful lot of angles here. He's oh my god, Tiram got owned. Kazuki is hopping off 3 kills in a single fight. Yeah, this map is chaos. I mean, it's one of those where there could be 3 separate fights going on at the exact same time, and you've got absolutely no idea which one's favorable.
Yeah, this is now Kasuke starting to hit the headshots, and this is making it really difficult now for George to pick an angle. You can see they're struggling with it, but it's Vanu up on the counter sniper, finding the kill onto Tavi early on, finding a lot of body shot damage there, finding the headshot onto the sniper with the taunt, letting them know.
Yeah, absolutely. He wants to make himself known. He goes onto the sniper for the first time. We do, however, see George pulling out the crits creek. It's going to be Equilubers. They want to pop it off as soon as possible and try and get that first sticky well placed. Doesn't look to come good for them, and they are just running away from this Alien Workshop Uber. This is a little bit sticky, but Yak's staying alive.
Somehow Yak manages to stay alive there, but the health is not that good. But Lucky just falls instead. While Picky joining him, Tiram swapped onto the scout there just to leave room for the Vanu sniper. As, yeah, Alien Workshop, that trade comes out. You would expect that to be way more favorable, right? But Yak manages to stay alive, keeps himself and the rest of his team in the round. Now 20 seconds for both teams. It's Shades cleaning up Tiram. But at what cost? There's people on this point. Bum has a crits advantage now for real. And it's starting to get really scary here for Alien Workshop. You can see they're sending in a soldier behind, but he can't really do much. Shade's going down, but a demo kill. Headshot onto Lucky.
That's really, really significant there. It's just 3 players. Bumfree's obviously got no heal target at the minute. While Piggy waiting for his players to spawn. And then they're going to put that cap over the line. 18 seconds to go. And George, with the full crits, still waiting for Yak. But I can imagine that is going to be the pivotal moment of this round.
It is all eyes onto whoever is the recipient of the crits, or onto Kasuke, who can eliminate this crits on his own. It comes out straight onto Yak, and it finds a lot of damage onto the sniper, but no frags. Instead, it's Wild Piggy going down without the crits, as Lucky has stayed alive for now. Instead, the time just runs out. Alien Workshop deny George, and that's 1-1.
We do have a game on our hands. You can see all of those players congested around that point, and they just didn't think to get on it. That is, I'd be tamping in comms right now.
Yeah, this is unfortunately just a lack of coordination. That looks like a little bit of a pause. Here's the thing, we're running a bit of a different config this time around on this LAN. We have added an extra 5 seconds to the round timer to let the players regather, and also us to wrap up the last round. The casters, I really enjoy it as well, but sometimes, you know, you're used to certain round ending timers. It's a little bit weird. We're back onto mid. Kasuke is still sniping.
I mean, this is interesting. He is denying a lot of angles, but now he's put a real target on his back. But I say that, the distraction was obviously enough. 3 frags down on the side, George, all because they were so fixated on that Kasuke sniper.
Oh my god, that is fun. So high up. Yeah. He gets body shot down there by Kasuke with the alley-oop. But that is a clean wipe for Alien Workshop, looking so much better. As you're saying, the sniper drawing in all of those bombs, it makes it look so good for the rest of them.
Yeah, such a late death from Bumfreeze as well. That puts George in a really precarious position. A full Uber advantage onside Alien Workshop and a lovely forward hold on the go.
Yeah, that is Vanu getting taken down already. They're trying to bust straight through this forward hold. The Uber doesn't come out. Instead, is Lucky going down, and Kasuke finding the headshot onto Bumfries. Fun's Yak are following. It's just Tiram left alive. Tiram body shot down, and George did not find the answer to that forward hold. They do get the force. They get 2 kills. They might actually maybe... Okay, so Tabby doesn't spawn for another 5 seconds. There is a world where you push here.
There is a world where you push, particularly with that sniper up as well. You want to be in there hard and fast. You don't want to give him any time to rotate. You don't want to give him any time to try and pop a couple of your players off. So George trying to get on this point, trying to draw in a little bit of pressure from Alien Workshop so they can try and eliminate those players. But we do actually see the crit screen again coming out of Bumfries as they try and cap this point.
Yeah, they're capping up onto this point. Alien Workshop choosing to let it go rather than take that fight because they get 2 kills, and it means because the points cap, the spawns are so much slower, they can walk right back onto it. George have not really that much to contest with Wanu going down with a lot of damage dealt there by Tabby onto the enemy demo. Means that it's so hard for George to stay in. They keep Yak alive, but they lose both their soldiers. Now, however, no demo man on the side of Alien Workshop, but George might fancy themselves once again. A little bit of a fight.
Yep, Yak fully buffed. They've got the crit screen ready to go. I think they want to get that sniper early doors. Oh, that stick, it was so close. That could have been a 3 for...
Finds one onto Piggy there. Unfortunately, doesn't find another one. The Uber comes out of Lucky, keeps him alive. 200% times 0, still 0, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
There are so many players on this point right now. Taking so much damage here. The demo can just rain down hell, but it's George staying alive, and the rest of their team as well, keeping it going. Trying to go back in onto the point. They almost have this cap. Don't want to cap it quite yet, though. Wait for Funds and Barney to spawn and tear him.
Exactly. It definitely will make their life slightly easier as the spawn is now coming up from Alien Workshop as well. It's pretty even on the Uber front, but Bum is still running that crit screen. Yak's not had the best of luck with the early sticky, so I'm sure he's quite keen to turn that around, get a bit of confidence back in him.
Yeah, Yak kind of needs to find something. We're getting a crit screen once again, coming up any second. And Lucky doesn't have Uber, but that's a headshot onto Funds, which shuts down. You can see Yak has a position behind, but the crits comes out and finds Sneaky. Now, no Uber means that Tabby is down as well. Another kill found onto Shades. Lucky is so far back. Kasuke cannot find anything this time around. But Lucky made it out. Lucky's 95%. He can wait for his players, come back up there for full advantage, go back in. They still have a minute on this round.
That is the most important thing that could possibly happen for Alien Workshop off the back of that play. So they're looking to just sort of soldier forward. They've got that full Uber advantage. They just need to try and get a decent bit of space early and not lose too many, particularly to the risk of Vanu here.
Vanu now 150 on to Tabby. Find the follow-up instead. We'll have to see. They're looking at each other through the glass. Fortunately, TF2 can't shoot players through the glass. You kind of have to watch each other.
In fairness, though, the sniper can't kill any of your players if he's staring at you through the barrel.
Nope. Now, Tabby walking forwards does get headshot by Banu, though, and the Uber hasn't come out. Finally out of Lucky as his force jumping in and getting that force. Now, Cap comes out as well. This means Tabby won't be along for a very long time. Bumfries is 100%, though. Does he have a demo with him? Not quite sure. But it's Tiram bombing in, trying to make some space happen. Does a lot of damage with this bomb, actually. And the follow-up sticky comes in, cleans up Kasuke. No further follow-up damage, however, comes out from that crits instead. It's just his crits onto a sniper. We're kind of fine with that. Scout goes in. Yak, nice little pipe. Shades dead as well on the flank. While Piggy trying to make something happen here onto this soldier very low. And it looks like we're managing to maintain the hold. The kill onto Sneaky from Banu is good. And it's enough to take the cap. Even times effectively here for both teams.
Yeah, that was a really sticky there for George. They unfortunately had to deny Yak. Yak's fastest spawn there, so they have got themselves in a pretty position here, ready to sort of deal with anything that Alien Workshop might throw at them.
Banu wins the 1v1 with Kasuke, and that means disaster for the rest of Alien Workshop. They have to pop in the Uber. They actually get the kill onto Tiram. The follow-up kill onto Yak onto Funds. Tabby with 2 manages to clean them up right back to the point, getting that cap out now. The crit streak from Bumfries is 90%, but Mans isn't healing no one right now. Ooh, and this is a forward hold. They want to stuff this crits immediately.
Yeah, definitely, and they've got the forward hold going as well, Alien Workshop. The George are going to have to use straight out the gate, but they get round that corner really quickly. Managed to trade Shades for Yak there, but it is a no-cigar scenario for them there. George are managing to get themselves onto this point, try and get a little bit of cappage going with the ever-present threat of Kasuke on the sniper.
Yeah, Kasuke now. Any shot he hits could be just a first nail in the coffin for the side of George. Any little tick of damage could be followed up by the rest of his team. Just waiting for that one singular shot to come through. Vanu back onto the scout. They have to hold onto this for effectively 40 seconds, but now the gates are open. Funds is down, the bomb comes in, and it is Lucky brought into the skybox. Has to pop that Uber out of respect, but is Vanu taken down? Now the round, the point rather, should be capped. Just have to hold it for 7 seconds. George have to go forward, but no one is there to hold onto the point. The clock is ticking down. Yak is not there. Neither is the rest of his team, and that's 2-1 for Alien Workshop, and they're on match point.
Yeah, I mean, these rounds are a lot closer than I ever would have anticipated. Particularly with our discussion at the start of the game, this really is quite something.
I think we are seeing, looking at that scoreboard, Funds is not as washed anymore as he was earlier
I'm
today.
sure
Thankfully,
pleased, yeah.
He's only had one shower today. He's not that clean.
Okay.
He's fine, you know. Didn't use shampoo either. You know, we're getting there. We're being dirty.
Give it to day two. Give it to day two.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
fully unwashed. As now Kasuke still on the sniper. He's been really liking it, obviously having a big impact now. Quite hit the shot immediately afterwards, but this sniper will slow down the pace a lot for Alien Workshop. But now George, this time around, not aggressing in immediately onto the sniper. Instead, sitting back, I guess kind of waiting for something to happen. It's scouts traded across for both sides. Soldier in onto Lucky. Of course, very low, and that's a lot of space gained. Now to kill onto Tavi. This looks like George can just capture this point.
Yeah, it should be a nice little shoe in there. Kasuki just couldn't quite get the angles that he managed to earlier on in the map. So yeah, a nice easy win there for George. But it's not without return from Alien Workshop. They lose Piggy on the point, and of course they have still got a soldier down as we expect. And the Uber trade does come off.
The Uber trade is out, but it popped so much earlier for Bumfries here. Buns taking the 1v1 with Shades, winning it, but that's Bumfries taking down at the end of the Uber. Now Vanu and Funds have to do so much cleanup, but Lucky without anyone to support him, and that just means that Vanu can run right in and find the kill onto Lucky. Traded off, of course, but the bombs are coming forward. George have the high ground right now. Piggy running around 50 HP on the low ground. Gonna have to dance around these soldiers to make it work. Sneaky backing him up. And that is kills coming back in the favor of Alien Workshop. They're walking onto the point. Yak is here.
He's got something to say about it. Manages to get sneaky right at the start there, so that puts him in a pretty decent position there, but does pay with his own life. Of course, Bumfries not able to get quite as far forward as he would hope without that scout support, and the cap does go the way of Alien Workshop.
Cap going the way of Alien Workshop means that now they're kind of just trying to bomb through, kind of maintain control at this point. Let Kasuke Sniper do its work. Hasn't found some shots for a little bit. Almost cast a custom in the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's a good
cast
thing.
a blessing.
Yeah.
As there we go, he is just taken down instead. I guess it was a cast a cuss.
Yeah, I mean, Kasuki, I suppose his role is literally to try and funnel the opposition players down very specific choke points to try and make it as easy as possible for his team to spam them out.
Shades just bombs in, kills Bum in main.
That's quite important.
It was pretty big. It was a nice heads-up play by Shades. This gives Lucky a ginormous advantage.
Huge.
Just with this Uber as well. You can see now it's Vanu trying to walk in. Gets the kill onto Tavi alongside Funds. Doing a decent amount of work, but there's not really that much follow-up for the rest of the team. They're sort of streaming in now, but with Bumfries dying there instead, it means that Lucky's super far back. He's trying to keep his players alive. And they're finding the kills slowly. They have an Uber charge now to play with, and everyone's kind of low on this HP bars as they come in, but they haven't had to pop any Uber charges. Instead, everyone on Alien Workshop is like 40 HP on the point, but they're fine. They're chilling.
They are. It's the classes that were alive on the other team made it super easy for them to survive. You know, the demo man is not particularly good at doing 30 damage.
Nah, he's, but he does, I mean, he could. You know, with stickies, it could have been cleaned up. Thankfully, for Alien Workshop, it wasn't. Now the Uber comes in. It's a big advantage for them, and Bum immediately goes down once again. Now, it is a soldier in behind, and Tyrion finds one onto Kasuke. Sniper down, but is it enough? A kill onto Tavi might help them, though. It's forced, finding that one. Instead, now Pickles dancing around the point with his scout friend, trying to find any sort of cleanup possible. But Yak is playing too far back, and we cannot find the kill. It is still the point in favor of Alien Workshop. We can see George is slowly edging it. They should have their medic back with them now. Lucky, 40%. That's not 100. We should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it is formed a little bit of a rolling advantage for Alien Workshop there, and you know, they're really going to have to play into this Uber charge, and they have still got control of the point, but that headshot from Kasuke, oh my god, that is quite something.
Soldiers deleted there by Kasuke, no big deal. Hard
No.
to play the game after that one. I mean, sometimes this is the problem when you play against a sniper like that. It's like randomly they'll just hit you, and you'll be like, okay, like what am I supposed to do? You know, like.
That's a hand off the keyboard moment.
It is a hand off the keyboard.
I am gesticulating and I am saying things in comms that I would not say to my mother.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of things that you would say in TF2 comps that you wouldn't say. I think if I told her we had to push with a full Uber ad, I don't know if she would go with that.
That's breakfast conversation for you.
Yeah. Alright, now Kasuke charging up a shot once again. Counter sniper out from Vanu once again. Has been actually, honestly, getting the better of Kasuke in the sniper 1v1s. This time around, they don't quite find the shot. Instead, it's 50 damage onto Tabby. It's a headshot onto Tabby. Make it so. And Lucky almost spammed down by the rockets from Force. Has to pop the Uber. Soldier bombing onto Kasuke. Doesn't quite hit the shot. Doesn't quite hit the surf. And that's Tiram on top, finding the kill onto the enemy sniper. Uber comes out. It's going to fade from Lucky as well. No one there to save him. Instead, though, the cleanup from Sneaky, the cat coming in. Bum, followed up by Shades, and we're back. We're so back. Funds, don't get a headshot. Thank you.
Yeah, that was really messy, but both medics going down definitely fortifies Alien Workshop's position there. They've got the cap 20 seconds left on it. They're 40 seconds ahead of George, and this is looking pretty good for them. They want this to tick into overtime if George are to get this point, which it looks like they could, or so I say, and then Yak goes down.
Yeah, losing your demo there is really disappointing for George. Not having that damage is so crucial in this moment. Instead, it's going to be up to the soldiers to deal this splash damage. Tiram is coming in, trying to hit the demo, but just gets shut down there by Wild Piggy. Now, Kasuke up once again on China, ever looming presence onto Bumfreeze. Shuts him down, soldier in the air, can't find much either, and this is looking really hard for George now. It's just 1 second, they have to capture the point. There's no one there to contest it for George, I say. Funds has to be the hero. Yak is down, and that's a point cap, and it's a point win for Alien Workshop. They take it 3-1 against George.
Yeah, I mean, there was absolutely no way that they could have saved that round.
Yeah, that was, but honestly, that was a really good game. I was really impressed. I'm really happy that George have managed to find some mojo once again. Good stuff out of them. Really messy, though. Yeah. This is the thing. Like, product, when you're casting online, is kind of messy. But then you go to LAN, and like it's even more messy.
That's a different game.
It's like extra mess.
Yeah.
And it's really hard.
Yeah, there's so much chaos all the time, especially with those teams as well. They're constantly balls against the wall, and they are just hammering it back to back to back. And you've just got, you know, how long was that? 25 minutes, just solid of chaos.
Yes. It's worse on Bagel, but we'll get there.
You will get there.
We'll get there, but yeah, really good stuff out of them. I need production to tell me in my ears what I'm supposed to do now, to be completely honest. You like logs? Yeah, I would love some logs production. Please, put them on my screen.
That would be delightful.
Yeah, wow, look at this. Oh my god, would you believe it? A scout on product went 3 for 1.
That is quite good.
No way.
That is quite good.
Ah, wow, that's crazy, huh? I mean, yeah, this is, but Vanu, also equally good game. Look at these damage numbers.
Yeah, those scout damage numbers
Land
are
product,
quite
right? Everyone basically sitting above 300 DPM. Kasuke kind of a little bit lower, but that's, you know, sniping the whole time, it kind of does that for you.
Unfortunately, your funds theory does appear to be, at least relative, not 100%, but he can creep up. He's got a few more games to get there. It's all about tomorrow, not today.
I really do think the longer we let Funds marinate, the more normal like Prem Scout Funds he becomes, top Prem Scout, and he'll be back.
He'll be firing on all cylinders.
This is, I mean, yeah, he was keeping up. He was keeping pace. Obviously, Vanu was, you know, in this case a little bit sort of, I guess, more impactful, but definitely, you know, it wasn't like we're sitting there being like, oh my god, this one Scout doing anything.
Yeah.
So bad. No, it's completely fine. And yeah, you have an active chaotic product game like this, and everyone's damage stats are crazy. It's just kind of how the cookie crumbles.
Absolutely.
Production just whispered sweet nothing into my ear, and I'm really excited about that.
I'm slightly turned on.
So how are we feeling now? We just watched these two teams play. How do you think? Okay, here's the thing. In my head, I think Alien Workshop are going to be upsetting some teams at some point. They're going to be beating some teams. We're like, how?
I could definitely see that. You know, they came third in the I-Series last year. They're firing on all cylinders. Sneaky's on form. They're all hyped to be here. They're all really, really pumped. And I'd say it again, like, with Insomnia, the schedule seems so rigid and it's really, really hard. And teams get properly exhausted. But it's a nice, like, single map rest. And, of course, with round 4, there is a slightly longer rest as well. So, I think if there's any time that your hard work is going to pay off, and you're going to play at your best, it's going to be here today.
Yeah, but good stuff out of both teams. We saw
Definitely.
That tiramisu.
That was quite tasty. That was quite tasty.
That being said, I think production hasn't told me I can't. So while Meerkat takes a sip of his beer, I think we should throw it to a break. We're going to throw it to an interview.
And then a break.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We've got more interviews here. This time I've got the medic from Verdasti's This Is Dwarf. That was not bad. Not bad, was it? Not bad. Anyway, Condawg, how are we doing? How is your land so far?
I played 2 games so far.
Okay.
It's played a couple of the lower division teams, so it's fairly comfortable to start off with. We've got, I think, some of the big hitters coming up next, so we'll see what happens.
Alright, who are the big teams that you're kind of worried about, or maybe like have a sort of personal vendetta that you want to win? Just badly.
Well, you've got Big Boy Pappy, I suppose, on Witness. You know,
Okay.
that's end of the day stuff. End of the day stuff. Let's get a Delhi. It's coming up next. But
Okay. Very confident, very confident. You're actually one of the few teams that's managed to field a proper ETF to poLANd. Is that like a huge, massive advantage, or is it not as big as advantage people think it is?
well, we all know each other's names. That's quite
Yeah,
nice.
that's a
you
good
know.
step.
We'll make each other. We spent an entire season together, so I think it gives us a little bit.
Okay.
You know, like,
Not a big advantage.
Yeah, like Flick, you know, they've
Yeah.
won Prem, but they've cut 4 players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, they're shooting themselves.
maybe it brings us back up to par.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Any favourite people you've met at LAN so far? Anyone you're like, oh, it's a bit wild meeting this player?
I mean, Ams, obviously.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't seen him for 4 years.
Yeah.
I actually brought one of his shirts, his old shirts.
Oh, wow.
And he had to sign it.
Ams.
frame it, put it on the walls.
And finally, just tell me what do you think of Poland? Is this your first time in Poland?
No, I came to visit some friends a while back, but I've never been to Łódź. What's the pronunciation?
Wódź.
He's now.
I've butchered that, but yes.
Lovely place. Lovely place.
Well, thank you very much for the quick interview, Condawg. And yeah, take advantage.